the time you were always kind of bobbing and weaving with a very volatile industry and club promotion more so than record producing, and that's why I stopped doing it. Really was because it was such a tough game and a young man's game, and I was kind of really keen to sort of get better at record production. So that was the next fork in the road, which was in 2004, and I went, right, I'm knitting the club promotion, and I'm going to get serious about being a producer and fill all the holes that were really frustrating to me, where I didn't know how to make my bass sound good or my drums sound good, or and I cracked on with that, which was done in Hammersmith with Express 2's engineer, who I shadowed and kind of annoyed. Shadow's not the right word. I was just over his shoulder, like, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? For about 3 years. And then kind of thought, right, I can get on with it now, which was a nice feeling. So, I had to get serious about record producing. I still love doing graphics, but it's more of a kind of self-indulgent thing now. Yeah. But I'm a control freak, and I get satisfaction out of the craft of it. I'm not going to get satisfaction out of woo. Yeah. I'm as happy making it as I am finishing it or having success with any music. I'm happy just making it or working it out or listening to something and reverse engineering it and learning about it. So it takes commitment. If you want to learn how to be a record producer properly, I've got my own studio and I don't need anybody else to engineer for me, and that takes 10 years minimum. Yeah.
What was it that took you down that route to want to do that?
Being a nerd. Being a hopeless nerd. And buttons and... But I'm just happy. It's a meditative thing. It's not thinking. You've got a big machine and you're... And it's loud and it's kind of... You're just in the music, tweaking away. And that's what I love. My new label, Trackwork, is all about that. You get this sort of move the mouse, build the bricks type way of making music, or you get the let's wig out for 20 minutes and then make 6 minutes of sense out of that 20 minutes, which is what I do with that house label. And it's a bit more visceral and it's the right way to do it, to be honest. Do
you still go out to clubs and have that visceral experience?
Yeah. I need it, and I love DJing. I absolutely love DJing, so I get it from DJing. But I'll still go out. And the older you get, the more kind of alienated you can feel when you go out. Yeah. But, I still need to do it, and I still go out and do it, and you get a charge from it. But DJing is... I feel more allowed to be in a nightclub at 42 if I'm DJing, so I prefer to be DJing, and then I'm kind of like, okay. But every time I do it and every time I DJ, it's like the first time, and I've not lost any passion for it at all. I've probably got more passion for it.
You practice?
No. Yeah. I'm a chaos. Yeah. Don't think about the set. Try to do it like that. Try to be that kind of person. I've tried Tractor. I've got an S4 and I've tried all that, and it's a different type of thing. I love vinyl. I love CDJs because you're not looking at anything necessarily, and if you're not looking, there's a different part of your brain going on, and you're kind of more time on the crowd, and you're not thinking, you're kind of listening, and it's all that stuff because it's basically primal, shamanistic, getting into the source, ritual, dancing, oomph. It's not about bloody laptops and mouses. It's about core caveman business. I wrote that on my sleeves. Cave rave kind of. I don't know, but it's about being a caveman. It's when you're in a club. It's unga. It is. That's what it's about.
Sounds really important to you, that it sounds like it's something that you really feed on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I can just tell the difference when it's that, or when it's, hey, let's make some money, or hey, or Beatport, oh, I just want to sound like him, or I just want to, I kind of just want to make a play at making some techno. Deep house.
So do you get that? We had Andrew Weatherall up here last year, and we were discussing this whole thing around remixes.
Yeah.
Do you get that? We want this in a certain way. We need a certain consideration from this, or have you bypassed that? Do you give them you?
I'm pretty. It's kind of my selling point. Is I'm a graphic designer. You have to be able to learn to work in a design by committee environment as a graphic designer. So I got to learn that. Can we have it bigger but smaller and a little bit less murky but still colourful? But and it's just like, what are you on about? And you get that in A&R land as well.
Yeah, sure.
And I can understand it, and I can be respectful of it a lot more than a lot of people are. And I do that. You've got to earn bread and butter, and I earn money doing music for advertising as well, because I can not be a corporate cocksucker, but kind of
You can be responsive. Yeah.
I can take direction and I can take a briefing, and I'll say that to record companies. I'll say, look, I can keep your song intact here. I don't need to put it through a Leo Zero mincer, and it comes out the other end like a lot of other my remixes. It's kind of like every song's got its own brief, and most of the time I'm kind of like, I can keep this intact, and I'm sort of, and it's a challenge, and it's a really, I think it tests you to do that. You go, right, I kind of worked out how this song works, but I can deconstruct it and rebuild it.
Yeah, sure.
So I like to do that, and I like, to be, I like rising to the challenge of making everybody's happy. I'm happy. You're happy. If they're not happy and you're just being this bullshit kind of, you can have me, I'll do your remix, and I'm too kind of soft for that.
Yeah. Because you've done some really big stuff. Right? I mean, you've done Madonna, which it doesn't really get any bigger than that, does it? In terms of an artist who's got something.
Madonna was a pain in the arse, because it was
really?
like, okay, I'm going to do Madonna. It was like, you're never going to believe this. Madonna's lot have phoned up. It was a Friday. You got to do a remix. I was like, okay, I've got to do this. I'm like, I've got to do this. Okay, right. Sorry, tell the missus I've got to drop everything. I've got to do a Madonna remix. Got me in on Monday. And I sit down and I go, shit. I've got to do a good remix. Yeah. Because it's Madonna.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I've got a weekend to do it. Right, have a cup of tea. And it's kind of, you think to yourself, well, a load of my friends will go, it's fucking not going to play that, it's bloody Madonna. So you've got to do a dub of Madonna that might satisfy your snobby friends.
Of course.
And you've got to satisfy Madonna's people.
Of course.
And, there's a lot of Madonna's people, because we had
the stratas of
there was
Madonna
an
people.
email
Yeah.
BCCCC brigade that were, legion. And they... and I was just like, so I just cracked on with it, and got through the net, thank God, and it was fantastic, and that was a real challenge, and a challenge that I'm pleased that I got to the finishing post with, because there were loads of those things that were at play, it's Madonna, and then you've got to kind of tread. So I analysed it. I was like, well, I'll do a dub and I'll kind of mangle her up in the vocoder, and we'll cover our tracks a bit, and then maybe those people will play that, and I'll like it. I might be able to play that dub, and we'll do a bit of a retro 80s thing with it, and you kind of go, well, what's going to be useful for a Madonna remix, or whatever it is, and that's the same with every remix, and it's kind of, it's not just chuck it in the Leo Zero-matic.
No, of course, yeah.
And I love it. I it's like getting an Airfix kit or something. You get all these bits that you couldn't have made because you're not musical enough to make them, and you learn loads about how people make records from getting all these component parts. It's like so it's a little. It's got fringe benefits of sort of the mystery. I used to think music was so magical. And then layers. Well, I know the technical side of it has been demystified because I've made it my job to do that. And yeah, but that was what I was trying to do.
So somebody who's gone out and learned all, because you alluded to this really right at the start where you were talking about sonics.
Yeah.
Do you still listen to music and find magic in it, or are you deconstructing it as you're listening to it?
There's magic in the wallop.
Okay.
So I'm in awe of anybody who can nail the wallop, So at the moment I'm in awe of Liv Spencer, who's a producer, just remixed Franz Ferdinand. So it's a Franz Ferdinand remix, and he's a great arranger. And you just listen to it and you're like, oh, there's so much thwack in this. What's he done? And not only is there thwack, when you're working with computers, you layer it up with all sorts of trickery and your timing sort of goes to shite. So you have all the depth and breadth, and then all of a sudden it's all murky and muddy. So it's like a balancing act of, keep it all in place, keep it good as a whole. And when someone does it with real panache, you're just like floored. So irrespective of whether you like Franz Ferdinand or whether you like the remix, the song or whatever, I can be just like, oh, fucking hell, that bass drum and that, because I'm a nerd and because that's what I'm thinking about. And when the records tick all those boxes, they are classic records.
Yeah, sure.
If you make your drums and bass sound amazing, and it's tight and it's got a good groove, and and you tick all the boxes, classic dance record, and that's what everyone wants because there's alchemy, there's alchemy in that, and the sum of the parts make a greater whole. And then if you can become an alchemist, so I was listening to Liv Spencer stuff and I was like, how's he fucking done this? Because most people don't get it as good. So it's still magical. I'm still scratching my head going, how? After 10 years in of reading nerdiness every opportunity.
You're getting it at all levels then?
Yeah, it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's a martial art that you can never get better at. You can never reach. It's a moving target.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's cool, and I like that. That's part of the fun of it.